thinking?
I'm not sure. I've not had some work done now for probably about 6 months. I don't really know what I feel. I'm just not 100% happy.
Yeah, so you want to just...
Yeah, I kind of want to come and see what you think.
Okay.
Based on the previous work, obviously, it's my first time with you.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of intrigued to see what you think.
Okay. So look. A bit closer. All right. Can I get this hair behind you? Lift your eyebrows up. Round. Big smile. Relax. Behind here. Have you had tear trough before?
Yeah.
Relax. Clench your jaw. Relax. Clench. Do you get headaches?
Sometimes.
And you know the slight pigment up here? Does that extend around here or not?
No, it's just there. Yeah, I had an incident when I was younger where I had heat stroke because I blistered all over there.
Is it?
So it's just never really disappeared.
Have you had laser for it?
No, never had anything like that.
It doesn't bother you, or?
No, because I get freckles on my nose. In the summer, I just kind of let them blend together.
So how much filler would you say you'd had?
I'm 32 this year, so quite a lot probably through the years. I've had Botox sort of all around there and some under there with tear troughs, cheek filler, and then my jaw every now and again. Everyone tries to point my jaw, which I never really liked.
No, your jaw's got enough volume.
Yeah, I think obviously those always need a bit of tweaking, and that under there always bugs me in photos and things. And then I'm not sure about my lips because they've been done. They were the first thing I had done in my early 20s. So they've kind of been done by a number of different people, and I'm not really sure what you think about them.
So I'll just go through. So on the upper third, obviously you could have Botox. And I just do it softly, keep some movement like we can all move, and just lift the eyebrows slightly, especially the right, as it's slightly lower than the left.
Yeah.
So we can just align things. I would consider laser up here.
Okay.
You know, just soft, and it'll just smooth it. You'll probably still always get the freckles slightly, a little bit like it comes out in the summer, it comes off. But you know, we've got like the Picashore Pro, which kind of gives a glass skin effect, so it just feels amazing.
Okay.
And it can make a difference to pigment, but also skin texture.
Okay, amazing.
When I look at your cheeks, they've been defined how historically we used to teach how to do cheeks.
Yeah.
So you kind of used to add the exact same amount across the whole cheekbone, like 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. And what happens is it forms a cheek that kind of, rather than going lifted and out, it kind of is a little bit bulky-ish.
That's what I've said to my partner a few times, that I feel really full in the face. Instead of having a nice thin sort of shaped face, I'm feeling really, as you said, wide, that sort of bulk there.
I think if they'd have like enhanced the beautification point and then just softened the tail, it looked nicer. But the issue is they put the same amount at the middle as they put on the side. So I think we don't need to get rid of all the filler. Like, actually, it's nice, but it's just been put a little bit in the same spot, kind of just in, you know, same amount. So I think what we'll do is a minimal dissolve and just reshape it slightly, lift the cheek, make it appear a bit thinner. You do have a bulky masseter and a bulky temple.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling. Only recently though. I never felt it in my 20s, and I'd say only the last year I've kind of looked in the mirror and I'm wondering where it's sort of come from.
Yeah, I mean, it can come from multiple things, but for me, like I get a bulky temple, and it can do stress, so I can find myself clenching.
Oh yeah, I do that a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
I clench this all the time, and I'm stressed. I'm stressed a lot.
Yeah, exactly. We all do. I think you get more stress, you got more responsibilities. So by breaking the cycle with Botox, you clench less, you feel much better.
Okay.
I mean, especially your left temple, it's very big.
Right, okay.
Which is why I asked you if you've got headaches.
Yeah.
So Botoxing that will suck it in. And then once that's sucked in, I've probably seen about 2 or 3 weeks, we should just define the jaw here. Okay. You don't need anything in your chin, maybe do it before, but you slightly indent in here.
Yeah, no, I noticed that as well.
It doesn't suit you. You should be sharp, you should be clean. You know, you've really got no lines on you, look fresh, and those slight indents there don't suit you. Okay. And so we do a little bit there, and we do a little bit on the nose to mouth on a wood.
Oh, fab. I do also have my nose tweaked as well, which I do love, just to narrow it and then to lift on the...
Yeah, perfect. Looks good at the moment though, doesn't it?
It's not. I've never had a bad nose, to be fair. It's just the little tweaks. make the world of difference with it.
I can imagine. Yeah. Fine.
And I have got odd eyebrows, as you said. I always say they don't get on. They just one goes one way.
With both with your lips.
What are you feeling?
So first of all, if we just talk anatomically, you move your top lip a lot and it rounds out a lot, so you will love lip flip. Initially, maybe the first 2 weeks, you may want to kill me because it's a bit weird and you can't drink through a straw.
Okay.
But after that, you'll love me because when you talk and when you smile, you lose your top lip.
Okay.
But when you're still, you've got really nice volumatous lips, okay? Your lips have been filled in a way that they look a little bit bumpy in the top lip.
Yeah, I feel like it looks a bit odd, but that looks higher than that side. I do have dents there, but they've never been filled. So.
Oh, really? Okay. I think what's happened is the filler's actually gone down to the dents.
Okay.
So people think lips are just one chamber, and they're not. They're made up of little chambers. And you've got around where your cupid's bow is below that some little chambers. So you've got to make sure I think you've got a complex lip where each little chamber has to be filled the same amount. Otherwise, it creates like a dip down, and you've got just a dip down there because one chamber's overfilled, then the one next to it's underfilled.
And that's what I mean. I can't remember what my lips were like because that was one of the first things I did. I didn't start messing with my face till mid-20s, but lips were early on. And now I'm like, I don't know what they were like before.
No, we can easily sort that. And so I would do a small dissolve.
Okay.
I'm not going to dissolve all the lips. You're not going to be left with no lips.
I'm not. I'm kind of at the point where I've got 5 months left of this year. I want to glow up. I want to get to 2024 looking better than I have.
Probably in a couple of weeks you'll feel great.
Oh, fab.
Yeah. Okay, so what we're doing with Rosie today is I love Rosie's look. It's beautiful. The slight challenge is when you have filler that builds up over years, it can sometimes give a very, very tiny unnatural look. Now, this by no means is an unnatural filler, but it's just for Rosie's face shape, it's just a little bit bulky on the lateral cheek here. So you can see the lateral cheek has just gone out a little bit too much when really we need to define it, elevate it a little bit, just something a little bit more contoured here, but with less bulk. We're also going to just do a little bit of filler in the future here, but today the main thing is just get some dissolving here, get some dissolving of the lips. We can see with the lips, there's a little bit of a lump here. It's a bit bulky here, you can see right here. So we're just going to do a minimal dissolve of the top lip, dissolve a little bit of the migration, soft dissolve with the bottom lip, and that'll be enough today. And the last thing is just a bit of Botox. So there's just a bit of movement here, frown, smile, lift the eyebrow, equalize the eyebrows. That's what we're doing today. Do you know what type of filler they used?
I have no idea. Probably should ask that.
Sometimes they can use a very stiff filler. This feels like a very stiff filler.
Why it's started to look bulky as well.
Yeah, I think so. You can see here just the slight ledge that's been formed by ever minimal migration. By a soft dissolve of this, what's going to happen is the red lip's going to be more apparent, especially on the profile. So we'll see the before and after profile where the lip will be a bit more apparent. What I'm then going to do is come in here and we're just going to softly dissolve. What is that lump? That's half done. Okay. You can see I've put fluid in there, so that's going to go. That's the Hyalase, but you can see what I'm talking about with the chambers. Chamber there, chamber there, chamber there, chamber there. So when you do lip fillers, you've got to watch for the chambers and overfilling one chamber, not the other. So you've got to be very soft around here and just keep it very natural. We'll look at it in a week to 2 weeks' time, and then we can decide what we do, if anything. We'll probably do a little bit to the cheeks. We'll have to redefine the lips a little bit, and we can do the rest of it then.
Okay. A lot better.
Yes.
I think it was needed. All that dissolving was definitely needed, and even the evening after we dissolved everything, the migration just went, and even my face started to look thinner and things. So I'm glad we did it.
You look younger, yeah?
probably because I've got my makeup on.
You do hair behind your ears? Much better, isn't it?
It's better, yeah. Now I need some work.
It
need some Dr Rosh work
tweak.
now.
Yeah. So we'll definitely do lips.
Yeah, I've got those lumps still. I think that must just be a natural.
I think those lumps are to do with, the lip rubbing on the teeth. It's called a mucocele.
Right.
So that's just part of what happens when you get your teeth and potentially definitely a little bit to the cheeks, just a very small amount.
It's this that really bugs me as well. You know, you were saying last time about them going in here. I just feel like it's not. There's no sort of definition.
Face me. You can definitely straighten it. Come here. Clench your jaw. Relax. Clench. Relax. Clench. I think what we can do is we can do a little bit of filler to the cheek, temple, jaw, and lips. Thoughts about the nose?
I normally just have it sort of tweaked so it's a bit narrower and then the tip just lifted.
Yeah, face this way. Have a small nose. I've accentuated the beautification point. It's slightly evolved over time. We don't do an excessively high cheek. We do much more natural. And you can see the volume of the cheek here. It's almost like it hasn't had filler, but you've seen before and after. You can see the very slight variation. Not overdone, but a very lovely lifted natural look. I'm just going to straighten the jaw a little bit, small scratch. And once again, just using the cannula. And we're just softly placing it. So for the jaw, I'm using one of my favourite products, which is Revenus Shape Plus, and I just find it helps with the integrity of the jaw, creating a natural contour and bone-like structure without being overly harsh. It integrates nicely over time. Rosie's just got a slightly resistant marionette line here, so I've just done a very small amount of filler to straighten that element. You can see she's got a bit of deficiency in this lateral and lower lip, which I just resolved. A little bit of in the tubicle area. You can see with the cheek, I've just accentuated it here, and a small tail coming up. So we'll let that settle.
Lovely.
Yeah,
so much better.
Very natural.
Very natural.
Look at the jaw. Can you see how we've straightened it?
Yeah, that's just the best.
The reason it was a little bit hard work is because I've not touched this element here. So you're not going to be fake because this isn't all filler. There's filler here, and there's filler here. So you can see how I've molded it into where the small fat pad was there. And then the lip,
you can see it there, can't you, compared?
Yeah, exactly. And then with the lip, I've accentuated the top lip and the bottom lip. The question we're all having is, do we just make the top lip slightly bigger? When filler's done often, people just obliterate the normal kind of features you have.
Yeah.
When you go home and you see what I've done, you'll really see that I've kept your original features and I've just softly enhanced how the light hits, how the structure is. So you still see yourself in it, but just with some minor tweaks, that's all.
Yeah, I think that's why I was getting to the point where I was looking in the mirror thinking, I look really different. And that's
the thing is, like,
dissolving was the best.
Anatomically, the cheeks weren't completely wrong. The issue is you had original nice structure anyway, and it was the way that it was done, it was obvious it was filler. It's more beautiful to have these kind of features where people can't see the filler.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And I'll go 22 gauge on cannula, please.
That's how I said I was feeling bulky, just like everything being packed in.
Nothing's going to bruise. Okay, so it's going to just go fresh, maybe some small bruises here, but you could almost ready to do a shoot tonight or tomorrow. So, but because of the lips and the slight, deficiencies in the left-hand upper side, I may just have to do a bit of needlework. If I do that, then sometimes you can bruise a little bit.
Yeah, that's...
It'd definitely be worth it.
Yeah, no.
So you can have a look. We'll do the nose, but then I'll do...
Oh, so much better.
I did yours with 30, I did yours with 30. Just tack a little bit. Is there any other area that you particularly plays on your mind?
I just like to look within, and then I used to get that just kind of like pixied a bit. Is it pixied? What's it called?
It is slightly pixied. I'm not a big fan of huge pixie. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Whatever you think. Nice. I trust you.
I know I've just done the end to lift it slightly. It's easy to do the pixie. It's just more filler. But if you look, so for example, let's look at this side. Can you see how that now comes round and it's lifted slightly?
Yeah.
Obviously on this side, it's slightly more elevated. It's just the different structures. But I think this gives a more natural look to your nose.
Okay.
The only point we could do is whether you want a little more just right here. It's up to you.
Up to you.
I like it. Sometimes less is more. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The lumps are masked, aren't they?
Yeah, can completely. You see? When I smile, they're not there.
yeah, exactly. We need to just make sure it settles like that. If not, I can tweak slightly. Let it settle down, because I've done very, very complex work to your lips, but look how natural they look.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Even your cheeks, they probably look even more natural now because you had this slightly indentation on the left-hand side here.
Yeah.
And if you look, it's just nicely rounding. This is straight. This is straight.
Yeah, it looks lovely. It's all symmetrical.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
Perfect. Okay.